Yeah, I got a mark up here at the top of the door. This is the top of the top of the jamb. And that mark right there is where the top of the door is. And then we cut a board. This is where we're going to transfer our hinges. We cut a board that's the height to that point. And then and mark where the hinge location is. Okay, this is our jamb, the one where we cut the header part out of there. This is where the top header part is. This is where our door, top of our door is. So we put that right on there where our door goes. And then we come over and then we take we transfer our marks from our story pole to the jamb itself all the way down. Got that one and that one. And then of course the two end ones down there. Okay, all we need now is just the distance to the back of the hinge, which is 1.5 inches. This is kind of the crude method since I don't have my table saw with me, but you can see we've got our marks, and I'm just going to skill saw it. Okay, there's one. I will do the other two. You can see we've got our top one over there, middle one, and we've got our lower one. They all fit the hinges. Now it is kind of a perfect fit, but it's better than trying to hammer and chisel this thing out. Since we're going to use a router, this will be a lot easier. This way we know our hinges will work. Okay, now we'll mount this onto our jamb, and what we want is the top of it right here at that mark where the door is, because this is supposedly our door. So we mount that there, but we have to make sure that each one of these around that hinge, see how that's overhung a little bit, or underhung a little bit. We need to make sure that's pulled all the way out, because we want everything right to the edge, because this is where our router bit's going to be running. We've got our router adjusted. See, we've got a bearing right there that's going to follow our guide. So what we're going to do now, we're going to come in here, we're going to rat all this so we don't have to do a hammer and chisel. Who likes to do hammer and chisel? Well, there's many a time I've done the wrong side, so when you get ready to do yours, make sure you're doing the right side. Okay, when you're building a door, you know, from scratch like this, you only want to work with 2 hinges, because it's real easy to move the door around with just 2 hinges than it is to try to fight 3 hinges. This building is so unsquare that we don't even know the length of our other jamb side, so we need to figure that out now. See, now where most people make their mistakes when they're hanging a door, they always come in and want to level the jamb, and that's not the way you're supposed to do it. Hang the door and then get the edge of the door and put your level, because that's going to tell you whether the jamb's level or not. And the same thing with it fully opened, you want to check it to see if it's level. So that's the only two ways that you really need to check to see if these doors are level. Don't try to level the jamb. I mean, you can halfway level the jamb just to get it set, and then after you get the door hung on the jamb, then you can move it around until you get it level. Got to get the top of our other jamb here. Yeah, 78.5, that gives us 3/16 of an inch. I'll have to do it this way because the ceiling is unlevel, our distance, so we're gonna cut it, take our door back off, put our jamb together, and then stick it back in the hole. Okay, like the hinge side, you know, we screwed it in, but now on the lock side, we're gonna nail it in so that we got a little movement in case we need to spread it apart a little bit, as I was saying earlier. Screw here at the top, screw there close to the bottom. Now what you do is you level your top header piece and then the lock side of the door. Now since this room is moving around a whole lot, I gave it a little extra room up there on the top normally than what I normally do. That's pretty close to maybe a fat 1/4 of an inch. Okay, the side pieces, you know, I may have a little bit too much in there, but that goes back to that story that I told you earlier. Don't cut the header piece too big. Well, I cut it maybe 1/8 of an inch too big, but I can't squash it together. Take care of that at another date. Well, right now we're about to lose our light, so we're going to try to finish this thing up pretty quick. One thing I found out about deadbolts, you got to be a little bit more precise than the latches. So what I do is I just drill a little bitty small hole before I go too deep. Then I close the door, let the bolt go in there, and figure out if I need to go up or down, because before I get too deep, I can still do that. I know you can't see up in there, but the hole shows it needs to go just a hair bit up, about 1/8 of an inch. Hot dog, we're set. Put our weather strip in there and our door bottom on, and then that'll be good till the next time we come out. Once I get all the latches, insulation and everything in there, then we'll be in good shape. Now we put our last and final hinge on there. Okay, I think that about does it for today. We'll wrap it up by putting the striker plates on.